Hello, beautiful souls. This is Vanita Kumar, also known as Twinflameunion, bringing you guys in this week's pep talk and empowerment. Twin flames and their guides that are not in embodiment. This could very well be somebody that has passed on, a near dear. It could be your parent, it could be your sister, brother, it could be your uncle, your aunt, your grandparents, or it could very well be your beloved, your twin flame that has passed on. They left their body and now they're on the other side. There's also some pairs that also have that dynamic where their twin flame actually never took a body in this lifetime. And those couples, the ster twin that is here, that's alive, does know that that aspect is the case. They get lots of signs and syncs with that. So they are well aware that their twin flame is not alive anymore, or they were never, they're just there on the other side in a spirit form. And like I said, some didn't even take that embodiment. So yeah, I have an article on it, so I will link that. I don't have much to go by. Hopefully after this video I can add more to that article, which I will do. I'll link that information in the description box. What I feel is that within the community there's not much support when it comes to this topic from teachers and healers. I don't see much YouTube videos on it, so this would be a very insightful video for many of you, in fact all of you, because you already know who has passed on and who was very near and dear to you, or they could have very well been not near and dear to you, but it doesn't matter. They're on the other side and they are making contact. There is life on the other side, and in this video I will go over some of the signs and things on how you can figure this part out, whether they actually are trying to make contact with you or not. But before we actually dive deep into this topic, let's hit it. And welcome back. For those that are new to this channel, please do not forget to hit like, share, subscribe, as well as hit the notification bell. You will see that I have a series of topics now already in the pep talk and empowerment series, as well as some guided meditations and readings to help you, to aid you into your soul's journey. If you're drawn to this channel, it's because Spirit led you here. And of course, as usual, I always link any articles that pertain to the topic. I always write lots of articles. I have more than 70 blogs, I believe, already in my website, so you may want to check out what they are, or if they're, I haven't counted lately, but if it's not 70, it's almost 70, so that's quite a bit of blogs already there that you can actually have a look and see if any of that stuff makes sense to you. I always get, it's a gratifying experience where I always get emails from my readers that stumbled upon my website by chance because they had some questions, and they just give me their feedback on how they found me through my articles. So it just goes to show that whatever I am doing, it definitely resonates to to many of you. So I'm forever thankful for that. Absolutely. If you want to book any private sessions with me, you can do that as well from the link in the description box. All that information is on my website. You can purchase and book directly from there. And I also want to say that 10% of twinflameunion sales also go to charity. So if you're booking with me, know that you are also contributing to some of the causes that I actually am partaking with. Without further ado, this is a topic that I am excited about because I want to give a tribute to, who do I tribute to? Because there's so many people, actually there's only a few, that helped me to put this video together. And I, as usual, I am always in gratitude with them. One of them is my father, and the other two are my children, my future children. So with them, with the help of them, I managed to basically put this video together. And hopefully what I'm about to teach you guys on in this video, you will see some resonation to it. So and if you don't, you at least have something to look forward to. So as usual, I do have some things that I have listed here, so I'll go over it and with a few examples here and there. First things first, I want to also add that people that have passed on, or people that are not in embodiment, there is life out there, and they have their own journey lessons, even on the other side, that they're sort of learning. I don't know how far that's true because I'm actually not a medium. So, but through mediums, I've actually heard this many times where they're actually taking classes in schools on the other side, and they're learning even on the other side. How far that's true, it's hard to say. I've never really known it, you know. I've heard it mentioned to me a few times now by different mediums, so I'm assuming that there is some truth to that. So I want to say that even if they are on the other side, they do make contact to their loved ones, and you will actually get many ways that it will be very intuitively. They will be making themselves known to you very intuitively if they're making contact with you, and you'll just feel them. You will know that that is the case. I can't talk today. I actually didn't sleep well last night, and I'm trying to push this video out before my class actually starts. It's my shamanic class that I have, and it's an all-day class, so I'm just trying to rush through this, so forgive me. And I have speech impairment today. I don't know why, don't ask me. I want to say that the first sign that they will make contact with you will be when they're crossing over. It depends on this information too. Like I said, I'm not an expert in this. It's what I know is what I will tell you guys. What I've heard is that it takes them at least a few days or a week or two to even pass over, you know, after they've left their body. I also have heard or read that before a person passes away, their life, the entire lifespan that they've lived, their lifespan will, they have about 7 minutes, I believe, where they will see their entire life kind of just come before their eyes, a recap of what, when they're dying, you know, they get a recap of that play out. It's about 7 minutes, and I'm not sure. Well, I've never passed on, so I wouldn't know. But that's what you know, is being said about that. And there's many people that have had near-death experience where their soul actually departed from their body. There's lots of near misses. And near misses is not the same thing where you feel like that you've had a death experience but your soul was still intact. That's very different from when they actually pass, the soul actually leaves the body and somehow it comes back. And usually that kind of situation only happens very commonly in hospitals where they are, you know, pronounced dead and somehow they left even for a few minutes. Or and you can actually Google or YouTube search. You can also do where some people have actually mentioned about their experiences, how their experiences was when they actually did that, and majority of them that you will come across, they will tell you that this happened in the hospital. So those are the ones that actually, you know, you can say that they actually left their body completely, where their soul actually departed and then decided to come back because it wasn't their time. So and yeah, there's many that will claim near misses through trauma, accidents, or whatever have you. It'll feel like that you have crossed over, but you could see some signs and things of what that will look like when you're about to cross over, but you're actually still in your body. Your soul is still inside your body. So there's a little bit of a difference there, and they get very similar experience. So yeah, I want to add that in. So when people are crossing over, they especially if some of your loved ones have passed on, what they will do is they will come and visit you. And if you, depends on how your ability is to see your signs and things, and if you're clairvoyant enough, you'll be able to see that. I know that when my father passed away, within the 3 days of him passing away, he did come and visit me, and it was my first clairvoyance where actually with my eyes open I could see him making contact with me, and it was very interesting. All I could see, it was just in an image of him head and shoulders on the wall, in you know, through the white light. It was how was he doing it? Like he was just coming and going. So it was kind of like, you know, it was a silhouette of him with his head and shoulders, and he was coming in like that, and then it would just go away. And he did that about 3 times. So and I knew it was him because it was very obvious. And that's another thing I want to say, adding on to that, is that if they're making contact with you in some shape or form, you will know it's them, because however way you knew them to be, they will I don't know if you heard that. It was a little whistle, and it's not me. I don't even know how to explain it. It usually happens with my sister. She was telling me, my younger sister, that whenever he would, see her all dressed up and all that, he would actually whistle at her. So there's signs and things like that that'll happen, and it just automatically came. I'll have to give you guys a timestamp on that, when it actually happened while filming it just now. So I just laugh because it just goes to show that the signs and things are definitely there, and they do make contact somehow, right? So definitely I know that even filming this, I want to say that my father probably is in this vicinity, and just watching me make this video. So hopefully I do justice to it. So I forgot my topic here. So basically, when they are doing the crossover, they will come to you in the same format that you would know them as. So they won't come, for example, if it's my dad, he came as my dad, however way he was here, he wouldn't come, in a form of, I don't know, some actor or something like that, right? Like he'll come as the way that he was familiar to me. So that's something that you can also look out. And that will be one of the signs that I'm telling you, where it'll be very, very specific to them. So if you see them, you will see them in that formation, or in that body. So that way that way it makes it very, very specific as well, that it's them and nobody else, right? So so how you can connect, I've said this many times and I'm gonna say it again. I'm not a medium, but I do find that this is a rare gift, and it's not many people that can actually read you properly or read them properly. I've had many mediums, they could connect with my dad, and it was very gratifying to even connect with him. And of course he will tell you things. If you do connect with the medium, they'll be able to tell you very specific things about you and them. So that's one way. And mediums do not use divination tools. They will be able to channel and listen to them, and they will be able to do that just one-on-one. You don't have to, if they're using divination tools, then they're not actually a medium. They're using, I mean, anybody can do that pretty much. It's a rare gift, and if you are looking for a good medium, you need to make sure that they're not using any divination tools and they can channel it just like that. So because it's very, very important that they're able to connect with them. And usually the mediums that I have connected with, they know nothing about my father. So that helps, right? So they give me very specific knowledge about him. So another thing that I want to say is even my future children, they spoke very specifically about some things that they were making known to me, and that was very, very interesting for me. So I have to say that that was interesting as well. And one of them was my daughter telling me the vision that I had seen in the future. She's wearing a very light pink dress, and through the medium, she said that, she mentioned that, and it was kind of weird because she of course, when they are giving you insights or whatever have you, they don't tell you, they'll tell you bits and pieces sometimes, and sometimes you have to make sense of it yourself. And in my case, she just mentioned pink, and the medium said, "Oh, what is this supposed to mean? I know that girls like pink, but why is she saying that?" And I knew why she was saying that, because it was the dress that she was wearing. So she mentioned pink, and told this to the medium. Another really different aspect of my daughter was that she said she is going to be a very, very tall person. And as many of you know, my twin flame is very, very tall. It's like 6'4", and I'm about 5'7" myself. So we, just being tall ourselves, and our children will be tall, but she decided to mention that she's going to be super tall. So it's something that I could see even from my future visions, that they're tall children, and yeah, she kind of just validated that, and there's no way that the medium would have known any of that stuff. So yeah, it's important to find mediums that can actually tell you stuff like that. I've had many medium readings with where I wanted to connect with my dad, and finally, just in December, I actually managed to connect with him in a very different way. Before it was bits and pieces, and this was very in-depth, and I was very, very impressed with my reading with him, and he told me very specific things, and it's kind of private, so I'm not going to go over some of the things that was said, but it led me to really understand how they can make contact in some ways, or through readings, that sort of thing. I also have said this before, I'll add this in this video as well. When I did the 72-hour twin flame test, I remember I was talking to my friend, and he came through a phone conversation. It came as a kind of sound, and he kind of interrupted the phone conversation, and I could hear his voice, and I knew it was him. And that's another thing I want to say, is that when your loved ones make contact with you, you will not be afraid That's number one sign that you are not being delusional. You are actually making some contact with your loved ones, because you will know it's them and you won't be afraid. You will be fine. You know, that's, you will not be scared. And I know that throughout the last few years, just because I am aware that he is my guide, he's made so many contacts, and I'll actually go over it here. So and I have it here, so I just want to add that in, that there's going to be ways that they will actually make contact. So yeah, so with that, that was some of the little insights on just my own journey and how they've made contact, you know, and they'll do that throughout, through many signs and things. The biggest one is, I don't have it in, I didn't number any of the signs and things because I just jotted this very quickly. So, you know, I don't have, what have I said? Crossing over is one. And you could say medium reading will be 2, right? So, you know, if they're telling you something specifically, number 3 would be dreams. And almost all of you will admit that you dream of your beloved twin flames if they've passed on, or your loved ones that have passed on. And this was an interesting insight, because through that reading that I had in December, it allowed me to do this video, because I actually got lots of insights on how to kind of make sense of some of the things that happens with me, and I'm pretty sure you guys too, because when I talk to people, they tell similar experiences. Through dreams, they will come. And a lot of times dreams, of course, don't make sense, meaning that you could very well dream and it could be a gathering, it could be this, or it could be something very specific. But you'll always find in that dream that they're alive. And the reason for that is that they will not show you in your dream like a soul form of them. They will only show you in that they are alive and they are with you, and of course, every time you see this kind of dream, journal it in the morning when you get up, or just journal whatever you remember, because you'll quickly forget. Sometimes it's specific enough that you'll remember it, but sometimes you don't. So yeah, just be on a lookout for dreams. It's very, very important, because you will find that there's very specific messages that will come in your dreams. So that's sign number 3. Make sure that you pay attention to your dreams, because you will find that they do make contact through there. Another one is cloud formation. I've never really had this myself, where they've made any contact with me through cloud formation, but I've heard it through other people's experiences, and I listed it here just in case some of you have experienced that. Feathers. Feathers could mean, there's so many meanings to this, but it's listed here regardless. I want to say that, and that wasn't sign number 4. No, sorry, 5. Okay, let me write this down, because that way 3, 4. Bear with me here. Okay, so sorry, because it's just easier for me to just keep track here. Feathers could mean angels, but it also means that they're making contact, and it doesn't have to be any specific colors. You can just look out for any of these you know, signs as feathers, because feathers will also indicate that they are, and you will know if it's your guide or your twin flame or your angel. You'll know the difference between it intuitively. You'll just know, and whatever is the first insight that you get is the one that you can get, you can go with. So yeah, don't Don't second guess it if you've come across a feather and you thought of your loved ones. So that just means that they're saying hi, and they will do the reason why they are making contact from the other side. Another thing I want to say is because they are actually saying hello, hi, you know, that sort of thing, right? So, and they sometimes come through these kind of contacts because they want to just let you know that they are there for you or that they love you. So it's kind of, you know, their sweet way of just making contact. And another one would be, I'll tell it as a story, and you guys, because this is going to be so different for everybody. There's going to be something that that when they were alive, let's just say, there was there was something very distinctive about something that was between you and them as something very specific. And if that's the case, then, you know, you will see that play out, or you will see that come into your reality through that scenario. And I'm saying it in a very vague way, and I'm going to attach a story to it, so it just gives you an idea. I've got a friend that was very close to her dad, and when her dad passed away, she was in search for this fox. How it worked with her and her dad when they were alive is that she used to always, you know, they used to always have these moments where I guess where they lived, they could see that. So he was very drawn to that animal when he was alive. Whenever he would see a sighting of them, then, you know, it was just obviously probably an animal spirit guide or something. He would just kind of sit there for hours and, you know, to look for one or see one. So it was a thing that he did when he was alive, if that makes sense. And when he passed away, she wanted to get one. Dead, of course, but she didn't want to actually get it hunted or killed or whatever have you. She just kind of put it out to the universe that, and because it was a thing that was associated with her dad, it was very, you know, dear to her. She wanted to just find some that fox just passed away naturally, sort of thing, without somebody actually hunting it or killing it, kind of thing, if that makes sense. So for years she kept that intention out, and she knew that her dad will help her to come across one because it was something that was very specific to their connection. And sure enough, it happened just recently where she came across one on the road, and it was already killed. It was already hit. So she was on duty because she's a cop, and so it was something that even her partner said, well, you know, run it by the boss and see if that's something okay to grab this off the road. And because what she wanted to do is she wanted it to be embalmed, or I don't know what their term is for animal to be preserved, and just put some work on it, and then it's a real animal, but it becomes like a you know, like a statue type of thing, right? So and she put it was okayed by her boss, and she put it in her vehicle, and then she had it all worked on, and it like the finishing touch, of course, she's now bought a new house, and it's sitting in her house now, and this fox looks amazing. You could see that it's completely alive, and it came back to life, you could almost say, from dead. And it's just the way that she's you know, this whoever restored it did an amazing job, and it's something that now is sitting in her house and looks amazing, and it's gonna remind her of her father. And so that's what I'm trying to say. So stuff like that will also happen in your connection. So you can, if you come across any similar situation like that, know that that's okay too, because you will you know, you'll have something that's going to be very, very specific to you and them. It could be stuff that they liked. It could be just about anything. You just have to be open to what this means, right? This was just an example, so look for stuff like that. You just never know how this can apply in your situation. I know that even my dad, when he passed on, there was a flower that he had planted, and he was still alive when the flower was the plant was given to my sister, but it didn't bloom. And the year that he passed, in that spring, it actually bloomed, and she knew it was a direct message from him. Like it was a bulb type of flower, and she was so excited about it because it was something that she didn't even think that it would make. The plant was not doing well, and she didn't think that it would actually make it. And the fact that it actually did, she was just in cloud nine, because it was a specific message to her from our dad, right? So stuff like that will happen, and if it happens, just know that that's their way of making contact. And that was sign number 6. Now you've got sign number 7. Social media, how do I say this? It would be electronic communication. And I already gave you my example of him coming through the phone, and it was confirmed in the medium reading that was what it was. I have, after that, gotten many communication with him, and the way that the medium explained this to me is because he's a strong spirit. He's able to come through phones and TV, that sort of thing, because he can actually come through that frequency. And people that have passed on will use, and that's true because you've seen this in movies where people from the other side will make contact through radio frequencies and phones and electronics. It's just the way that they can actually travel through energy, if that makes sense. And that is completely true. So through some sort of form of electronics, they will be able to make communication, especially if they're a strong spirit in nature. And if that happens, then just know that that's the case. The way that they will do that is your television. There's been times when I've been watching TV and all of a sudden it just shuts off. And I just know it's him, because that's just the way that he will do that. And nowhere on site I have remote. It's sitting on my coffee table or something like that. It's not in my hand, so obviously I didn't do that. So it will shut off, and there's no interruption in power, because otherwise I would see that in other devices in my home, and that's not the case. So it's just the TV, so I usually know that's him. So if that happens with you guys, just know that there's many times when my TV is off and it turns on its own. So if this has happened to you, you will know who your person is that's doing it. And in my case, I know it's my dad. So, but my children give me other insights on making contact through signs and things, through license plates, and just because I've named them, their names will appear in different ways, stuff like that. But when it comes to my dad, he'll do stuff like this very specifically, and it was confirmed in my medium reading that this is how he makes contact with me. So I already knew that, but it was nice to even hear it, that this is him just saying hello. So yeah, if you guys get that, just know that. Another one would be your cell phone. If your phone is on and it just automatically switches off, and if that happens, just know that that's them trying to make contact with you. So and you'll know, it's very simple, right? So what else I want to say? So we've got sign number 8, and that would be perfumes or fragrance. If if there was something that was associated with them, and especially if it's your twin flame, if they used some sort of soap or fragrance or something like that, and you will sort of know that that's them, because they will kind of remind you of that fragrance, right? So if that and yeah, that'll come out of nowhere, and if that's the case, you just know that that's them. Another so that was sign number 8. Sign number 9 will be if you'll feel a certain shiver, through the base of your neck, or some sort of tingling, like sensation, and you just, or like a little, I've had this where my dad has done this, where, especially because I've got long hair, for females, or even male too, if you have hair, you'll feel like a light caress of wind, kind of blowing on your hair. And I remember it very specifically with my dad. When he passed away, I was, of course, devastated. You always are, right? And you're grieving, and I was crying. And I remember him doing that, where he was just blowing on my forehead, and I could just feel, this little wind. And it was inside my house, so there's no active wind inside your house, right? So yeah, you'll feel that that light caress, and I knew it was him. I knew he was just soothing me. So stuff like that you'll come across. So, and if that's the case, you'll know it's them again, like I said. So just be on the lookout for something like that as well. Sign number that was sign number 10. Sign number 11 is moth. And I've seen this, I've actually read this, just because whenever I see a moth, I actually looked it up, and it kind of means death and all that, but death is also a meaning of rebirth. And in my case, whenever I see a moth, and it's sort of like in my case, it's going to be, when it comes to my dad, sort of like a brown moth, and it could be small, it could be big, it doesn't matter. And when I see that, I know it's associated with him somehow intuitively, and I find that he will just kind of come around, through that. I'll see a moth, and whenever I do, I know that it's very specific to him. So that's another way of knowing. It could be also any form of spirit animals that you are associated with, that's associated with them, where they liked a certain spirit animal. In this case, my friend's case was that fox, that where he was very drawn to that spirit animal. And it could be something like that for you guys as well. It could be very, very specific to some sort of bird or bees or some sort of animal that they loved. And if you come across it, it will remind you of them. Then you know that they are saying hello to you. And it will really be again, I can only say it in a very generic way. You have to sort of know intuitively what specific ways that they are making contact with you. This was some of my insights on it and how they can do that. So yeah, I came up with 11 signs, and it gave you guys something to think about for sure. And if you feel that you want to get a medium reading done, then do so, and don't be afraid to do the medium reading, because you actually will get a lot of closure. And in my case, it took me about 8.5 years, almost 9 years, to get a really in-depth reading last year with my dad, to get some closures that I needed for many things. And he said a lot, and that was another thing that I actually shared this with my group. Of course, it's very emotional to to get a reading, especially if it's somebody that you were close to. But in my case, he the medium was saying, this was something that she noted even. She was saying that this that he's very, very strong as a spirit even, and he stayed on for 48 minutes. And usually in her line of work, she's done this for years now, in her line of work, you can only stay on for like, at the tops, maybe half an hour. So usually 20 minutes, half hour is what they can stay on. They can't stay longer than that. So don't expect, if your loved ones are only coming for that brief time, and your medium reading is an hour, just know that sometimes, you know, they can't stay that long. And in my case, because he is my soulmate, soul, you know, in my soul tribe, he could actually do that, where he could use my energy to stay longer. And the reason why I knew that is because after the reading, I was drained. It felt like that I was run by a train, and I mean, it was emotional as is, but it was just not even that. I could sense that that's how he could stay on that long, is because he actually used my energy to stay on. And if they do that, then you will feel it afterwards that you know, they've used up all your energy, and you'll need to replenish that. I also want to add that the day that you are getting your medium reading, make sure that you're not booking it on a very hectic day. Try to open up your calendar so that you're not you don't have too many things lined up for that day, so that you can actually process it, and you can kind of recover from it, because it's gonna take a toll on your well-being for at least a day and a half, just because especially if they've used your energy in some shape or form, right? So try to be mindful of that. Be open to whatever messages you're gonna get from your loved one as well, because you don't know what's gonna come up in the medium reading. You can always make some questions and pre-hand, so that you, during the session, you have some questions that if you want to specifically ask, you can actually mention that as well. So that was my little pep talk on signs and things, if they are in if they are your guide and they're not in embodiment. And I hope that this segment helped you guys to just look out for something similar, and maybe there's going to be more signs, but at least you've got an idea what this looks like. And yeah, you know, you go with that, and let me know in the comments if this video made sense, and whether you are getting anything similar like this. I always like to hear stories, because when people tell me stories, it's for others as well, because they get to they also get to know through your stories what to look for in their journey, right, or in their connection. So don't be shy, and just tell your stories in the comments for others to have a look at it. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. This was again Twin Flame Union with this segment.